Guys, so I'm basically gonna react to a video from Zohran Mamdani YouTube channel where he talks about knowing your rights when dealing with ICE, which is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. I did see this video already in TikTok, and I already commented before, but I just gonna react to also make it more as an official video I can make in YouTube to just spread more awareness. I spoke about this myself already, made YouTube shorts about it too, because a lot of people don't know how to handle ICE. But let's check it out.
Attempted to raid Canal Street and detain our immigrant neighbors. As mayor, I'll protect the rights of every single New Yorker, and that includes the more than 3 million immigrants who call this city their home. But we can all stand up to ICE if you know your rights. If you encounter ICE, these are the things that every New Yorker should know. First,
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this. The good thing too that I like is how he translates things in Spanish. There's a huge Spanish population, Spanish speaking population in New York City, same thing in New Jersey and many other states. Many people who are Hispanic are from all types of backgrounds. They could be Dominican, they can be Mexican, they can be Ecuadorian, Peruvian, Puerto Rican, etc. So, but Spanish is a common spoken language among the people who are Hispanic, and it's a huge population in the U.S. So, it makes sense for New York City to translate everything in Spanish. My native language is Portuguese, but even though there are a lot of Brazilians and Portuguese people in the U.S., not as many as Hispanics. So I'm not gonna be like, hey, you have to translate immediately in the video Portuguese. So that's a little bit too much. But besides that, you gotta understand that the main thing I remember that he's gonna talk about in the video, and I discussed this before. If I if ICE is trying to get into your business or trying to get into your house, they need to have a judicial warrant signed by a judge. It can't just be a document that ICE themselves signed and now they have the legal right to break in or break through your door and detain you and potentially arrest you. Who knows what's gonna happen next? It has to be a judicial warrant signed by a judge. The thing that ICE has been doing lately, they have not been doing that, and they legally have to. So, especially if they enter into someone's home or business, they're supposed to have that. So keep that in mind. If you're gonna remember anything in this video, anything I'm saying, anything Madani is saying, make sure they have judicial warrant. You're gonna see. It's gonna show you an example of it.
ICE cannot enter into private spaces like your home, school, or a private area of your workplace without a judicial warrant signed by a judge. That looks like this.
Extremely important to understand that. So if you don't see this, that's not a judicial warrant and must be signed by a judge.
If ICE does not have a judicial warrant signed by a judge, you have the right to say, I do not consent to entry, and the right to keep your door closed. Sometimes
You have the right to also remain silent, but you have to invoke it. I'm invoking my right to remain silent, for instance, you can say that. And I want to speak to my lawyer. Things like that.
ICE will show you paperwork that looks like this.
Yeah, this is not a judicial warrant. It'll say appendix, C or whatever, and then they're gonna claim that this is enough. It is not. That's not a judicial warrant. So you saw the other one. It says United States, court, United States District Court. You need to have judicial warrant. That's key.
And tell you that they have the right to arrest you. That is false. ICE is legally allowed to lie to you. But you
Yeah.
have the
So law enforcement officers are legally allowed to lie, local, state, and federal level, depending on your also local and state laws. But in general, law enforcement officers, like local police, state troopers, and federal officers like ICE are allowed to lie, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean that they can get away with it with just detain you when you have the legal right to refuse entry when they don't have judicial warrant signed by a judge. So keep that in mind.
right to remain silent. If you're being detained, you may always ask, am I free to go? Repeatedly until they answer you. You are legally allowed to film ICE as long as you do not interfere with an arrest. It is important to remain calm during any interaction with ICE or law enforcement.
I know he says it, but it's very, very difficult. It's extremely difficult as an immigrant myself. I understand it's not easy to remain calm around law enforcement officers, especially ICE. It's difficult. Easier said than done, but obviously Mondane is saying this so that it makes things easier for yourself in the long term.
Do not impede their investigation, resist arrest, or run. One last thing. New Yorkers have a constitutional right to protest. And when I'm mayor, we will protect that right. New York will always welcome immigrants. And I will fight each and every day to protect, support, and celebrate our immigrant brothers and sisters.
Yeah, so I'm happy that Mandani made this video. We need more leaders in government talking about your rights dealing with law enforcement officers of all levels, local, state, and federal police officers. That's extremely important, and I respect Mandani for going out his way to expand his rights. It's crucial. Um, I'll also put some information in the description so people have this more available for them just in case. And I can always make more continuous videos like this if people want to, so I can talk more in details on how to deal with it when you have been detained, arrested, etc. It's a complicated process. For many of us immigrants, have to go through a long haul to get work permits, social security numbers, green cards, and eventually your citizenship. It's not easy to not have to deal with this shit because of a fascist regime created by Trump and his goons. So we had to find ways to fight back legally according to the U.S. Constitution, but it's not easy. But let me know, come such how you feel about this situation and if you're being affected by ICE. If you have family members, friends who got deported and maybe trying to appeal the situation.